Equations of lines. So we have all of these different forms for our equations of lines. So you have slope-intercept form is y by itself. That's mx plus b. So m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. We did that one in the last section. Point-slope form. So I think we're going to be using this a lot in this section. So you want to have this memorized. Y minus y1 equals m, and then x minus x1. So for this one, you need a point and a slope, just like it sounds. Point, slope, or 2 points on a line, because what can you find from 2 points? The slope. So in that case, you find the slope and then use one of the points. Standard form is ax plus by equals c, so we've seen that a bunch. Now we've put it into slope-intercept form. Now we're going to go backwards for that one, so that's just x and y on the same side. Intercept form, not going to see that as much here. Vertical and horizontal, we looked at those in the last section as well. So x equals in a number for vertical, horizontal, y equals in a number. All right, so let's look at some examples. So the first example, use slope-intercept form to write the equation of a line with a slope 7 and a y-intercept 0, negative 6 over 5. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So you're just inputting for the m, your slope. So y equals my m, negative 7. X comes down. And then your b is negative 6 over 5, so we can just change this to a minus 6/5. And it's in slope-intercept form. That's all we have to do there. Okay, example 2 says, write the equation of a line with a slope 1/2 through the point 2, negative 8. So in this one, we are given a slope and a point, which means we want to use point-slope form. So that is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, so this 2, negative 8, that's going to be your x1, y1 in this case. So if we plug those in, we have y minus, then y1 is negative 8. So negative 8 goes right there for y1 equals m. We'll plug m in. That is 1/2. And then parentheses x minus, then our x1 comes in, 2. Okay, now the only thing here to simplify would be this minus negative 8. So you're going to probably on your homework have a couple questions that ask you just to write the equation in point-slope form. So this would be the equation in point-slope form. You would leave it in that form. Okay, but then if it says write the equation of a line like that, that means they want it all the way solved out to y equals mx plus b, because technically the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so then there you would want to work this out. So we would take the 1/2, distribute it, 1/2 x, 1/2 times negative 2 gives us negative 1. Bring down the y plus 8, and then you just want to solve for y here. So we would subtract the 8, and that would give us y equals 1/2 x minus 9. Okay, and that is our equation of a line. And then what would we already know the slope. What else do we know from that line? Now we have the y-intercept. Okay, so example 2, write the equation of a line passing through 9, negative 6, and negative 3, 2. So we have 2 points on a line. What can we do with 2 points on a line? Find the slope. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to use m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Bless you. All right, so this will be x and y1, and then this will be x and y2. Let's go ahead and plug that in. So we have y2 is 2 minus y1, negative 6, x2, negative 3, minus x1, 9. All right, so negative 2 minus negative 6, that'll turn into plus. It'll be 8. Negative 3 minus 9, negative 12. What is that going to reduce to? 2/3, both divisible by 4. Yep, 2/3. And negative, because you have that negative right there. So just slide it to the middle. So we have a slope of negative 2/3. We have 2 points. So now we can use point slope form. Okay, so there's our point slope form, and we can use either one of these points. I am going to use, we'll use the first point, x1 and y1, okay? Doesn't matter which one. If you want to use the second one, I guarantee you'll get the same line that I do. Okay, so y minus y1, negative 6, m, negative 2/3, and then x minus x1, 9. All right, so this will turn into a plus 6. Then we want to work this out. So negative 2/3 times x, negative 2/3 x, negative 2/3 times negative 9. Let's see. That will give us 18 over 3, so 6. Positive 18 over 3, so plus 6. Going down the y plus 6. And then we'll isolate y. So we'll subtract 6 from both sides. It cancels out both sides here. So this is going to be y equals negative 2/3 x. So my slope is negative 2/3. What happened to the y-intercept? It is 0. Good. Okay, so if there's no plus b there, that's just got a y-intercept of 0, 0. Any questions on that? All right, let's look at example 4. All right, so we want the equation of a line through negative 3, negative 8, parallel to 4x plus 3y equals 7. Okay, so for it to be parallel, we have to find the slope of this line here. So let's go ahead and find that slope. So find slope. Okay, so we want to isolate the y here. So I'm going to take the 4x, I'm going to minus from both sides. They will cancel out here. I'm going to get 3y equals, let's make this negative 4x. That 7 doesn't have anything in front of it, so it's just plus 7. Then divide by 3. These will cancel. I'm going to get y equals negative 4/3 x plus 7/3. What is the slope of this line? Negative 4/3. All right, so we want to use the slope negative 4/3. We want it to be parallel, so we're going to use the slope. And we want to go through these points here, negative 3, negative 8. So those are our x and y1. So now, 1, we find the slope. 2, point slope form. So we'll go y minus our y1, negative 8, equals -4/3 x minus our x1 -3. Okay, so this double negative turns to plus. Same with this one over here. And then step 3, solve for y. So we will distribute the -4/3. That'll be -4/3 x. -4/3 times 3, that's just -4. Those 3's end up canceling. And y plus 8. Subtract 8 from both sides. I'm getting y equals, these cancel, -4/3 x minus 12. And there is our line. Anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, let's do an example with perpendicular lines. All right, so this one says find the equation of a line through the point 13, and perpendicular to y equals 9. So step 1, find the slope of the given line. What's the slope of this line? 0. Which means what kind of line is this? This is a horizontal line, so y equals -9, probably like this right here. What's going to be perpendicular to that? Vertical line, right? It's the only thing that'll be perpendicular to a horizontal line. And it's through what point? 13,1. So maybe we'll say it's right here. No, that's 13,0. 13,1 right here. If I could draw that. There we go. What's the x value of this point? Every single x value will be the same on a vertical line like we looked at just a little bit ago. So the equation is x equals 13. Okay, so perpendicular lines, if you have a slope of 0, the other slope is undefined. So okay, so y equals and a number is perpendicular to x equals and a number. Okay, before we do this last problem, let me give you some to try with this one before we do standard form. I want to do a couple point slope for practice. Okay, so let's do find the equation of a line. We'll go through the point 1, 6 with a slope -4. And let me think of another one. We'll go through the point. -8, -2, perpendicular. Get the final answer in just y equals mx plus b. Okay, so work on these two for about 5 minutes, and then we'll go over them. All right, let's check and see how we're doing. So for both of these, we're going to use point slope. So for this first one here, we'll go ahead and write it out. We have y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, so our x1 is going to be this 1 here, and our y1 is going to be 6. Slope is -4. So when I plug this in, I'm going to get y minus my y1, 6. M is -4. And then x minus x1, 1. So that's in point slope form if I did need to write it out that way. Okay, but now let's work it out. So we'll go -4 times x will give us a -4x. -4 times -1, +4. And then we'll bring the y minus 6 down. Then we'll add the 6 over to both sides. So that's going to give us y equals -4x plus 10. And that will be the equation of our line. Okay, you guys able to get that one? Yeah. Good. All right, now number 2, we want to use point slope form, but first we want it to be perpendicular to this line here. So what is the slope of this line here? It is 1. So what is the slope of a line perpendicular? -1. Very good. Okay, so 1 is the only one that doesn't really flip. It's -1/1, but you don't need to write it like that. So it's just -1. So we want to use the slope -1 in this case. And then we're going to use the point 8, -2. Okay. Oh. There we go. Okay, so we get y minus, our y1 will be -2 equals m, so -1, and then x minus x1 will be 8. So this will change to a +2, and that's point slope form. And then we will work this out. So -1 times x, -1x, -1 times -8, +8. Bring down our y plus 2, and then we will subtract 2 from both sides, and that will give us y equals -1x plus 6. And we don't really need to write the 1, so you could write it like that. But you could write the 1 if you want. So -x plus 6. Okay, so we just have one more little part here with standard form. For example, 6. So writing a line in standard form. So standard form is where you're going to have both the x and the y on the same side. So ax plus by equals c. And then, well, let's go ahead and do that. So for this one, I actually don't like these steps. Step 1, let's multiply this out. Distribute. Distribute. There we go. Okay, so step 1, let's distribute. This will be y minus 1 equals 3/4 x. And then that'll be 15/4. All right, now we can get rid of the fraction. Okay, to get rid of the fraction, I multiply each term by the denominator, which is 4. So each term gets multiplied by 4. I can just do a big distribution like this. The 4 right there. So 4 times y is 4y. 4 times 1, or -1, -4. 4 times 3/4 will be just 3, because the 4's will cancel. Same thing over here. That'll be plus 15. Okay, so fraction's gone. Now you want x and y on the same side, so this will be step 3. Okay, so we're just going to use addition and subtraction for that. So I'm going to take the -4, I'm going to go over here. So that's going to give me 4y equals 3x plus 19. Then I want x over here, so I'm going to subtract it. Can't add x and y together, so I'm just going to write them next to each other. So I have negative 3x plus 4y equals 19. And then the last step, I need x to be positive. Okay, so that's step 4, which means I need to multiply the whole thing again, now by -1. So multiply by -1, that'll give you a positive 3x minus 4y equals -19. Okay, and the reason why we do that is because for standard form, so ax plus by equals c, a has to be positive and there's no fractions in the whole thing. So x and y are on the same side, the number in front of x is positive, and there's no fractions. So let's go back to this example that we just did. Well, that one's just easy. I would just add 6 to both sides. Same thing there. Let's say we have another one here. We'll do another example here. Well, let's do this. Standard form. We'll go all the way through. So we're going to do through 2 points. So through okay, so through 2 points. So we've got to find the slope of the line. Sorry. There we go. All right, so find the slope. We're going to go x and y1, x and y2. So the slope will be, let's see, y2 10 minus y1 7 over x2 -3 minus -2. So 3 over -1. So -3. Okay, so it's through these 2 points. Here's the slope. So now I have to put it in point slope form. Okay, so I'm going to go y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, so when I do that, I'm going to get y minus, we'll just use the first point, 7 equals my slope, -3, x minus x1, -2. Okay, so this becomes +2. Then I work it out. So -3x minus 6 Then we'll take that 7 and we'll add it to both sides. So I have the equation y equals negative 3x plus 1. So there's my equation in y equals mx plus b form, but I want the answer in standard form, so I need x and y on the same side, and I need x to be positive. So I'm going to take the negative 3x, I'm just going to add it over like this. Okay, so that's going to give us 3x plus y equals 1. And the x is positive and there's no fractions, so I can stop there. Yes. Why we have to do what? Because we want it in standard form, which means we want it in the form where x and y are on the same side. It's just a different form. They're all the same line, just writing it in different forms. Any other questions? Okay, so that is everything for homework 2.